You are listening to Pray My Soul to Keep by Dog Öhrlund, narrated by Richard Atlee. Warning: this title contains extreme violence and graphic sexual material. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to people now living is purely coincidental. Some of the places described in the book exist in reality, while others are fictional. Chapter 1. Stockholm, Friday the 5th of May. Ewert Truut leaned back in his chair and looked out of the window towards Unabridged. A man was strolling slowly down the street, his dog just ahead of him, sniffing here and there and lifting his leg. Ewert wondered if he himself would be trotting along with a grumpy dachshund in a few years. After all, wise men said that dogs were always the spitting image of their masters. Now, two elderly women, a few yards behind the man, appeared in Truut's view. One was supporting herself on a cane, while the other was pushing a Zimmer frame. Truut shuddered. A Zimmer frame? Bloody hell, was this how life was supposed to end? After the women came a young girl wearing headphones. She stared at the mobile phone in her hands, occasionally stumbling on the uneven pavement. The devilry of the new age, he thought to himself. It was a miracle that more people didn't get run over. How could the little screen they were staring at be so damn important that the rest of the world had to be shut out? Ewert shook his head. He felt the need to smoke. If Carolina hadn't also been in the office, he would have opened the window and had a sneaky puff. As the thought crossed his mind, she got up and hurried out into the corridor. Ewert gathered some reports that needed to be copied and left the room. Standing by the machine as it was spitting out paper, he heard the sound of a water tap. A door opened and he turned round to see Carolina coming out of the loo. She looked pale and steadied herself against the wall. What the devil? Are you hungover? Carolina forced a smile. Oh, don't worry, I'm just feeling a little dizzy. Not enough sleep, and I may have eaten something that didn't agree with me, but I'm feeling better now. She disappeared back towards the office, and Truut shrugged. He had heard that those foreigners like to eat strange and spicy food, and, His thoughts were interrupted when a piece of paper got stuck in the machine, and he muttered something about how they didn't make stuff the way they used to anymore. A few minutes later, Ewert had sorted the copies and proceeded to sink back into his desk chair. He took a deep breath. Friday. Sunshine. Typical Swedish early summer. Those days were becoming increasingly important to him as he grew older. If all went according to plan, he could slip out after lunch, using a meeting or official business as an excuse. Then he might browse the state-run Systembolaget off-license for a while and think about what he would offer Claudia for dinner. Would she think it boring if he offered her a good old classic meal? Some roe-filled avocados for starters, roasted beef fillet for the main course, and maybe something as simple as a lemon sorbet with a little vodka in it for dessert? Was that too rich for a summer Friday? Should he go to the Östermalmshallen market hall and look for some nice fish instead? You could never go wrong with salmon. Cod loin was incredibly delicious. Marlin was also an option. A really good wine to accompany the meal, followed by coffee, brandy, or whiskey. Maybe a game of billiards, and then... Ewert smiled as he thought back to all the good times he'd had with Claudia. This weekend, they would do more driving around Uppland to look at the available summer houses Ewert had found on the internet over the week. Having seen too many hopeless ones, he was now frustrated. He wanted to find something charming and close to the water, make the purchase, and have time to enjoy it before summer was suddenly over. It was a bloody nuisance that the brokers were so good at lying.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?